Syrian Arab army units eliminate dozens of terrorists and thwart their attempts to infiltrate from Arsal to Al-Jubba and Asal al-Warad prairies in Damascus countryside. Syria calls on the world community to shoulder its responsibility towards the humanitarian catastrophe in Ain al-Arab caused by ISIS crimes. "42 are killed and dozens injured in two terrorist blasts that targeted Sana'a and Hadramaut in Yemen." Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Irado Krikorian from the News Center in Damascus. The Syrian Arab Army has eliminated scores of terrorists and destroyed their vehicles in Al-Qalamoun prairies in Damascus countryside. The Syrian Arab Army units have also repelled an attempt by terrorists to infiltrate from Arsal on the Syrian-Lebanese borders to Al-Jubba and Asal al-Warad prairies, an attempt that was intended to supply Al-Qalamoun terrorists with weapons and ammunition. The Syrian Arab Army has advanced towards the northeastern side of Douma town in Damascus countryside, tightening control on a large area of Al-Rihan farms in the outskirts of Douma after eliminating a large number of terrorists and destroying their weapons and ammunition. A military source which reported this said the Syrian Arab Army units regained control over an area of 1 square kilometer of private factories as well as several buildings and farms adjacent to the ancient road which links Douma to Adra. The source pointed out that those places were used as headquarters by the terrorist organizations in addition to the tunnels found there. Explosive devices of various sizes were also found, some weighing more than 50 kilograms each. The source referred to recent progress realized by the Syrian Arab Army in Tal al-Sawan and the big losses inflicted on the terrorists in men and material. Syrian Arab Army units have eliminated many terrorists in Aleppo and its countryside and destroyed an armored vehicle and killed its occupants after targeting several armed men's gatherings in 13 sites. A large number of terrorists were killed in 12 villages and their weapons and machines were also destroyed. In Idlib suburbs, several terrorists were killed or wounded in 8 towns and their machine gun-provided pickup car was destroyed. In Hama countryside, the Syrian Arab Army has targeted 7 sites, leaving many terrorists killed or wounded and destroying 3 cars and a motor gun. In Homs suburbs, many armed men were killed or injured in Kafarlaha, Taldawa and Aqrab. Terrorists were also ambushed in 4 sites as well as a pickup car west of Azara village in Al-Rastan was destroyed. As the citizens of Ain al-Arab continue their heroic confrontation of ISIS terrorists, the Minister of Social Affairs has affirmed that the humanitarian situation there was a major priority for the Syrian government, which will continue to work in order to provide the necessary assistance and meet the relief needs of the inhabitants. In a statement, the ministry condemned the ferocious terrorist assault and the malicious siege the town has been exposed to by the Takfiri terrorist elements, particularly ISIS and other terrorist organizations, thus causing its innocent civilians to suffer from extremely bad humanitarian conditions. The ministry noted that such crimes committed against the people of Ain al-Arab are being carried out with full collusion with the states and governments that have been funding and arming terrorism, particularly the Turkish government. The ministry held those states responsible for such crimes as well as for the deteriorating humanitarian situation in Ain al-Arab and other Syrian districts targeted by the terrorists. In response to the statements of the French and Turkish governments on their aggressive intention towards Syria, the Deputy Foreign and Expatriates Minister Faisal al-Muqtad said that the government of the Syrian Arab Republic reaffirms its full support to its Syrian citizens in Ain al-Arab and appreciates the heroic confrontation of the attacks launched by ISIL gunmen. In a statement to Sana, al-Muqdad stressed that Syria condemns in the strongest terms the stance of French President François Hollande on his support to the Turkish endeavors concerning the buffer zone. He added that this stance unveils Hollande's policies and his government, which supports terrorism, and Erdogan's policies as well. Al-Muqdad went on to say that Syria reiterates that this support contradicts with the UN Charter and the Security Council relevant resolutions which call for combating terrorism, particularly Resolution number 2170, which calls on the international community to fight ISIS and Jabhat al-Nusra, and Resolution number 2187, which stipulates halting any support to the foreign terrorists in Syria and Iraq. He added that Syria would like to bring the attention of the international community to the necessity for assuming its responsibility towards the humanitarian catastrophe in Ain al-Arab, to stop any support to the armed terrorist organizations, including the French-Turkish support to these organizations. In Turkey, the death toll has reached 21 as another 170 people have been injured and 388 were arrested during massive protests against the Turkish government's support of ISIL terrorist group. Turkish news sources said that thousands of people took to the streets in Diyarbakir province, ignoring curfews set by the government. The protesters, many of them Kurds, are calling on the Turkish government to stop supporting ISIL and not allow terrorists to go across the border into Ain al-Arab town. In the cities of Istanbul, Ankara and Adana, police and Erdogan gangs clashed with protesters, killing dozens of people and wounding hundreds others. Welcome back. In Iraq, an ISIL terrorist leader was killed in the area of Jurf al-Sakhr, along with 3 of his assistants during a military operation north of Babil. The Iraqi troops managed to end the siege imposed by ISIL terrorists on 300 Iraqi soldiers in Al-Anbar province. Meanwhile, units of the Iraqi army, in cooperation with the Peshmerga and security forces, cleared more than 70% of Ninawa plains. The military operations killed and wounded more than 1,000 terrorists affiliated with ISIL group. One Lebanese soldier was killed and another was injured when terrorists attacked at dawn today an army patrol in al-Rayhaniya town in al-Biqa', north of Lebanon. The Lebanese National News Agency said that 2 armed men on a motorcycle opened fire at the 2 soldiers near al-Rayhaniya in Akkar, killing one and injuring another. The Lebanese army immediately surrounded the area in search for the terrorists, as some local residents blocked the streets in solidarity with the army. Finally, in Yemen, 2 terrorist explosions hit the capital Sana'a, killing more than 42 people and injuring dozens others. The first explosion, perpetrated by al-Qaeda Takfiri terrorists, targeted Ansar Allah group, who are preparing for a massive demonstration in Tahrir Square. In Hadramaut Governorate, another terrorist explosion killed 10 Yemeni soldiers when a suicide car bomber attacked a checkpoint in Al-Mukalla city. With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Karun Kürkcan, but after a short break.